And good evening, everybody. We are here. Let's just say from a home stream, and welcome everybody at this lovely evening. I'm your host, Miss Abba, that's ready to guide you and lead you throughout this special virtual event that we have, and that is conversations with Esther and Dankwah. And if you can hear me well, please do a thumbs up or a like anywhere in the world that you are tuning in on this Facebook broadcast. And I would say, get ready for this evening because it's about to be very inspiring. It will definitely have conversations that will be able to elevate you in numerous ways. And again, welcome to this special edition. I remember that in last November, we also had a virtual one. Due to COVID-19, it was quite tricky because Esther had reserved, a place or location to hold her event, but absolutely because of the COVID things, we had to take it virtual. So in this case, she decided to keep that pace and keep that setting going, and thought, why not? Why shouldn't I not take the conversation onward to any virtual platform? So wherever that you are, welcome again, welcome again, welcome again. And this is Conversations with Esther on dealing with relationships after sexual abuse, which is a continuation of last November's event when we had a virtual event also on this platform and talked about what sexual abuse does to one, and especially for young girls. So now it leads on to talk a bit about more, including special guests that we have here that come from various sectors all around the world who are also able to talk about this particular topic. I will invite Esther Dankwa in a bit so that she comes on and has the conversation with us. First, I just want to give a shout out to Archer Dako, who is, giving Esther a good shout out. I believe you are a fan, I would say. You are definitely a fan. And I truly believe, Esther really cherishes the shout out that you are given. And in the meantime, if you are on, let's say, Facebook, feel free to share. Sharing is caring, and sharing is for free. Share it on your timelines. I would say at least by the end of this evening, we should have at least some 30 people, that we will have sharing on their feeds and everywhere. Where So keep sharing, sharing, sharing. If you're tuning on Facebook, you can watch this on YouTube. Sorry, on YouTube through the channel of Africa on Focus. Feel free to also share the link from on there. You can share it on your Facebook, whatever platform, and come and join the conversation. So, and also, let's keep this most interactive as possible so that you can feel free to chime in, share your experiences, share your opinion. Feel free, feel free, feel free. Let's do this. Let's invite Esther on and get the conversation going. All right. Hello, Esther. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing good. And you?
I am also fine. Good to see you again. How has been
Yeah.
your Saturday?
My Saturday today is a little bit quiet. Not it's cold, so I went
Yeah,
outside a little bit and then just came inside and start
yeah,
preparing for tonight.
yeah.
Yeah, this evening. Yeah.
Okay. And did you care to do some exercises?
Today is only stretching I did. I did
Yeah,
stretching only today. Yesterday I did train a little bit yesterday.
yeah.
So today I
Right.
decided to take it easy. Yeah.
You decided to keep the pace,
Yeah.
just let's say a bit cool, and just leave it on to you to
Yeah.
stretching.
Yes.
Yeah. Right, right. And how has lockdown been for you in terms of adjustment and things like that?
I'm really used to all the time outside exercising, giving training, and now I have to stay home. So it's a little bit challenging. It's not easy, but at the same time, I trying to find another way to make myself happy. Trying to take one step at a time every day, and once in a while go and give some training outside a little bit, but not too much people. So it's challenging. It's not really fun. I wish everything would just disappear and we can have our normal life again. So we
Yeah,
can do things normally we do. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, definitely. Well, let's pray that that will happen, anytime soon, and we could be adjusted to maybe the new normal. Maybe it
Mm.
will change some, even though it might change some things, maybe some open some doors for some
Yeah.
of us, but who knows? We will be
Definitely.
looking at it.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. So, conversations with Esther dealing with relationships after sexual abuse. We are here on February. We've had very inspiring event in November, and really that's yeah, it's been a while. So one thing that I will do is I will give you some time to first, before we go into in depth of this show. I will give you the floor to talk about the Dankwah Foundation, what it stands for, what it has achieved so far, and what else you'll be doing. So here's it on to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Esther Dankwah Foundation. This year because of last year, the corona and the situation going on and the lockdown and stuff, it was difficult to do other stuff. But last like December, I did made a little bit plan to do some few stuff normally I do. So what we did on December, the homeless people in Delft, I did cook for them so they can enjoy Christmas spirit a little bit, because Christmas is about sharing love all over. So that's something small Esther Dankwa Foundation can do, because I didn't go to Ghana. Normally I do that in Ghana, and I didn't go to Ghana, so I decided to do it here. And it was quite amazing. It was really nice. I didn't know we have a lot of homeless in this country like that. But I was shocked, and it gave me a different ideas and a different things in this country. And then after that, and there was some few girls in Ghana. They are on the list of trying to plan to help them for education, and some of them hospital. They have to do some surgeries in the hospital. And then we have some few mothers. We need to support them to start something for themselves so they can help their family. So they don't have to depend on the foundation all the time, or me all the time. And then another thing is, because of the corona, it's difficult to make any plans and do other stuff. So as time goes on, we are going to have a different programs line out to see how, with this corona and with God grace and this power of God, something small we can do to achieve the goal gradually. If there was a way to do a little bit fundraising and trying to see what we can do, and in this country to have some few projects. If the lockdown and all this thing goes down, we can do. I'm trying to organize some few girls to do a little bit like a workshop to empower them for the kind of things is going on. A lot of children and a lot of young ones and a lot of people are depressed at home because it's a new thing going on in them. So that's something the foundation is planning to do for now.
Right.
Yeah. Mhm.
Right. And could you tell us a bit, because obviously there will be people around that, don't know all about, the Dankwah Foundation. Could you share a bit about where it started, the journey of really starting a foundation?
Yeah.
Yeah, briefly, so that people can understand a bit more what you're doing.
Yeah, the foundation started with there was a star come from Ghana, from going through a lot in Ghana, coming to Holland, and then see looking back and see how I can do to help the young ones in Ghana. So that's where I started doing collecting some clothing and books and shoes and pens and pencils to go to Ghana. And then it was going on, and then every year it started getting bigger and bigger, and then we started helping in the hospitals and street children and in Ghana, and disabled children and the blind and people like that, and the widows and old people. They don't really have much, but they need a
Yeah,
certain things to help them. And then
yeah,
children, the parents, they were born but they were dumped into some places. So those children, we the foundation was helping, but the goal of the foundation was another thing altogether. But all this thing we did was preparation for me with the other side of the journey of the foundation. What about It's about the sexual abuse. So, as you know, a few years ago, we launched the foundation in Holland here and in Ghana. And that's where everything started, with having a conversation about sexual abuse, to share your story, to empower other women and men they've been through about sexual abuse to come out. Because I did find out that it's something heavy, because for myself, it was really heavy topic to talk about, and to even tell somebody. It took me really long time to get help for myself, and just to have the confidence and the strength to come out, because of how people judge you, because of what you went through. But then I think that we shouldn't be judged, because you don't choose to be going through rape. You don't choose to be somebody to assault you, because every child has a dream, and you see your dream being taken away from you. So that's what the Dankwah Foundation is about, just to stand up for other people to know that, hey, you are not alone. You can still talk about it, to be free for yourself, because if you are free, you have your own power in your hands. But if you are still hold on into what happened to you, blaming yourself, living in fear, it means you are not in control on your life. And that's what the conversation is about, to find a way to open the door for the society to know that, hey, you went through doesn't mean that you have to die with it. It means that you have to come out, to get the strength from other women and men they've been through that, to help each other. So the Dankwah Foundation is there to open the door for each and everyone being through that, or any form of abuse, to hold hands together, to climb up in life, to find your own future, to look what your future is, what your goal is in life. Because if you are if you learn how to forgive, and you learn how to remove the pain out from your life, you see that your life started going up and out, being in places. You'll be so happy in a different way. You have a feeling you never been have that kind of feeling. And the foundation is about that, to have a platform, to have a conversation, to help each other to come out.
yeah. I love that. I love that. And now, Danko Foundation is there. Obviously, for those of you who don't know it, you can visit www.dankwahfoundation.org to find out more information about what Esther is doing. Also, various ways of how you can be of support, how you could financially contribute, or how you could keep an eye on what she's doing. Of course, you can find it on the official website. And again, thank you for being here. Well, Esther, we are now at a conversation with Esther dealing with relationships after sexual abuse. We're going to talk about that, in a bit. You also have a special guest who we will be talking to in, let's say, less than 5 minutes. Could you briefly explain the theme of today and how did you get to this topic?
The theme of today is sexual abuse, if you go through sexual abuse and you recovered from it yourself, and then if you have a relationship, are you going to tell your partner or your husband about what you went through, or you are going to keep it, not to tell your spouse or your boyfriend or something like that? And this topic came about the day last year, the program we did. After that, I got some few messages from some women that how did I deal with my situation if I have a relationship. So I realized that if something is going on, a lot of women are going through, they don't know how to handle it, how to talk about it, how to tell their partners. So that's why I was thinking about it, that then we have to start having that conversation too, to see how we can deal about it, how we can start conversation with your partner or with your friend or with your mother or with your anybody is close to you, you love, to share.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see. So a lot of reactions and a lot of feedback have you gotten from it?
Yes.
Okay, now we are here. In a bit, we're going to receive your special guest, and we will just go on, listen to some music, and then we'll be back to have an interaction with her, and then go a bit more into, how do you deal with the relationship aspect, because of course going through such a trauma, and then having to go through life and starting relationship, it's very important that you have some type of knowledge and some type of idea as how to go about with these things. Very important, and a lot of people are looking for that piece of information.
Yeah.
Let's go wherever you are. You can still grab some tea or something, and let's get into this conversation because in a bit we will have our special guest.
Yes.
See you soon. On conversations with Esther Dankwah, who is the founder of Dankwah Foundation, which is her foundation, her organization initiated to support people who, in somewhat shape or form, have been a victim of abuse, both in the Netherlands and both in Ghana. And welcome again, because we are here to talk to Esther about one truly important topic, and that is dealing with relationships after sexual abuse. This is one that is close to her heart, one that she has experienced herself. And of course, based on the previous event, which took place in November, she could just not leave it to not have an event that really focuses on this topic. And today she has a special guest. I think it's all the way from Canada, and I see her. I think she's tuning in from the car. Super, super excited to have her in as well. But before that, Asta, could you give a small introduction who this lady is, where you know her from, and of course, what she's going to discuss?
Yeah. Rookie is a good friend of mine. We grew up together, and she's an athlete too. She's a former Olympian, and she did run a little bit, not too much for Ghana, but she moved here in Holland, and then she went to school in Canada. So now she is presenting Canadian, and she ran for Canada on Olympic Games and World Championship. And
Wow.
she has three children, three girls, strong ones, and they are talented too. And she's a good heart person. And today and she has her own foundation to helping a lot of children in Ghana. And then she's doing a lot helping to
Yeah.
in Canada. And she's going to join me today, and we are going to have a conversation about sexual abuse
Yeah.
after recovering. How do you deal in a relationship?
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's without further ado, let's bring her on. Uh,
Hi.
hello, Ricky.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you?
I am also doing fine. Good to have you in. I'm sure Canada is like cold.
Oh man, it's raining right now. Really cold. Yes, it
Thank
is.
you for tuning in with us
Oh,
from your car.
I know
No,
it's been a busy day, but I want to support a friend, so I took 40 minutes out of my time to help support her. So yeah, I'm
wow.
glad to be here. Thanks for inviting me, and she's doing a
Yeah.
fantastic job. So I'm so glad that I'm part of this. Yes.
Thanks again. Love it. Love it. So yeah, as we get us started, could you first share with us why you also think this theme is so important and why you felt what motivated you to come and show your support.
Oh, well, I think it is important because there's a lot of women going through sexual abuse, not even women alone, both men and women or kids, whatever, is very important because there's a lot of people keeping silence about this topic. It's very, very strong topic to talk about. Whenever you talk about sexual abuse, everybody kind of draw back, and because it's very difficult topic to talk about. So when she told me about the topic, I said, well, I would love to share my part of, the story. Like, I don't have any story about it, but I know I can add to what she's gonna talk about because there's so many people that, like relationships, like talking about sexual abuse to their partners is very difficult. Like, when do you say it? How do you say it? And the person you are talking to, is the person going to react to what you're going to talk about? So it's a very difficult and you know a topic to talk about. So when she told me, I was willing to join you guys with this conversation, even though I don't have much time, but I will try and share what I have before I leave. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, when the time hits, just give us a sign, and
Will will
then
do.
we will just give you a space to go. But we're very appreciative of you
Oh,
being
you're
here.
very welcome.
Absolutely. So, and feel free to Esther, because I know you two know each other well. If you have a particular question, just
Yep.
silence me. Could you give like some of examples of the silence that often happens, and what do you think could be the start of a solution to it?
For me, I think it's about you. You definitely always, in my opinion, or a little bit of learn and my lesson about this is about like sometimes it's difficult. You don't know how your partner is going to receive it.
Hmm.
Either you lose or you win. But something I've learned is if the man or that woman really loves you and he's mature, he will really definitely support you and stand behind you
Yeah.
and help you to work together. And sometimes the women want to tell, or the people they've been through, or the men they've been through sexual abuse want to tell all their partners. It's
Yeah.
not because they want to hurt them or make them feel uncomfortable. It's just how they can work together with in the relationship to make the relationship grow. Because
Yeah.
if somebody been through sexual abuse,
Hmm.
even meeting with your husband, sometimes there was a certain word your husband will say in bed, or that moment you guys are making up, it's going to be a little bit pinch in that woman or the man who went through that. But the moment you know the truth, it will be easy to know what to do and what not to do, if she's comfortable or he's comfortable. So you can work together about it. But
Mm.
some men don't know how to handle that. So you always have to study your partner, who he is or who she is, before you come out and talk about it. Because I remember I met somebody one time, and then I thought, okay, hey, let me tell. And then so because I was really into him, so I want to talk about it. So then he knows how he can handle, or how we can, work together. The moment I told him, he left. He left.
Wow.
But that moment, the first time, the moment it happened, my heart was broke. Like, why? I'm trying to be honest. Why I have to pay price for being honest? But later on, I got to find out that he was not matured and he doesn't
Yeah.
know how to handle it. So only easier way comes is just flee, run, you know.
Mm.
So I think you don't have to hide it. You already hide enough. You already hide yourself enough and feel sorry for yourself enough. You don't have to, run away. You don't have
Yeah.
to hide it anymore. So,
Yeah. Gotcha.
yeah.
Ruki, hearing Esther saying this, what is your take on this? Some even say that, if you have been through abuse, going into a relationship is not even wise. What is your take on that?
For me, there are pros and cons, about this because whether you say it or you don't say it, like let's say you say it in the beginning of the relationship. Like when I met my husband, I told him everything about me before, and then he told me everything about him. So I know, right? So I think maybe one advice is before relationship, whether they accept it or they don't accept it, like she said, if they love you they will stay, if they don't they will go. If they go, hey, that's not the right guy for me, right? So to me,
Yeah.
I believe in that. So I believe what she said, you have to just say it, because if you don't say it and you are in a relationship, that's gonna eat you like that. Like you're not gonna feel comfortable in your
Yeah.
in your marriage or relationship, because it's back of your head. But if you let it out, whether they take it the way, because I know some people are quiet because they don't want to lose their marriage or relationship or anything, but that tells you if the person truly love you, like she said, right? So but sometimes too, I feel like we need to make sure that we are saying it at the right time though, because
Right.
let's say the right time and how you are going to explain it, and when, because it's very important. You don't know how they're going to take it. What if they react? What if you wait till you are in the marriage and you say it and the person get upset because why didn't you tell me before? Because I know
Yeah.
it's not an easy topic to talk about, like I said in the beginning, right? So
Yeah.
it's very difficult. There are pros, there's good and bad about this topic. That's why when she told me, I said I really want to talk about this because it's interesting. Whether you some people might not take it in a good way and some people might take it in a good way. So we do really need, like what Esther is doing is fantastic, because people need to come out, and talk about this, to get help. And that's what she's doing. So I'm really happy about what she's doing, helping other people, who victims who have gone through that. So for me personally, you probably need to say it before you are in a relation, or when you are in a relation, you have to say it earlier, before it's too late, because you don't have to wait till it's too late before saying it. Because I will also understand the person, like the man or your partner that you are telling to, if they get upset, because you have to say it earlier. They need to know so that they don't feel like you waited. If they want you, they will stay. If they don't want you, let them go. It's very tough for a lot of women to go through this. So that's my my part of the story, that what I think.
I will come in a little bit.
Yeah.
Sister Rocky said, you,
Mm.
you have to find the right time though. In this situation, there was no right time. Every day is right time. The next day is taking too long. The next day is going to eat you. The next day is going to kill you. The next time you can't even
Yeah.
come out anymore. So
Mm.
the thing is, the moment you met the person and you see that, okay, this
Yes.
one, I think I can have something with the person.
Yeah.
Try to just talk about it, because the waiting, the right time, that's why a lot of men and women they've been through is taking too long to come out, because there never been a right time to talk about this situation. But before you talk about it, you have to be strong yourself. You have to be like faith enough. You have to know that, hey, it happened to me, but I love myself. So either you stay or you go, I still love myself. And that is the most important thing. You have to find your love first for yourself. You have to find your peace from you. You have to find your safeness from you before you talk about it to anyone or your husband. Because if you don't have the peace and you are not strong enough and they leave, you will go down. You break down. And that's what you don't want to have. The first thing you have to get help.
Yeah.
First thing after you get help, the second thing is trying the help to test the help and see if it's okay. You are okay. The
Right.
third one is trying to find out from your heart that the pain you feel, if it's gone. The next one is the forgiving. The moment the forgiving, you work upon your forgiveness, the rest is history. You don't need a woman or a man to make you feel that you are strong or you are uh, good enough. You don't need nobody because of you know that you are strong, you are happy for yourself. The rest is history. So the first thing is you have to find your peace, your inner peace first. If they run, you said, hey, you lost, my dear, because you lost a good woman. You lost a good man. It's your loss. Goodbye. Bye-bye. But sometimes some of the men, they leave. It doesn't mean they are leaving. They just leave that moment for maybe 2 to 3 days to just go and think, to find out, okay, am I going to handle this? I can do it with
Mm.
consultation. And then the man will come back again and then sit with you and start talking about it. What can I do to make it complete? What can I do to make the relationship go forward? What can I do for us to be happy together? What can I do to support you? So that's where you can come out and tell everything to him. You know, the first day you don't have to tell all the details. You just have to say only one word. The eyes will show you if he is a strong man to stay. The moment
But
you said
also,
one, mhm.
oh, sorry. No, finish.
No, it's okay. You can come in.
I wanted to ask, right? I'm
Yeah,
sure what I'm going to say, a few women has gone through that. So let's say also, because it's something I've been, when you told me about the topic, I've been thinking about. What if, let's say you meet a guy, right? And
yeah,
right from the beginning, you start hearing that this guy don't say good stuff about sexual abuse. Like, you haven't told this guy about anything. It's
yeah.
just like every time he will make like a comment about stuff like that, right? What
Yeah.
will you do? Like, if you were in that situation, will you tell the guy and or you just leave?
No, you don't tell the guy, but you talk offenses to him. You don't have to tell him. The moment you see a man who's making that kind of
Like,
things around you, you don't have, you already know enough. The
yeah.
moment
Mm.
something like that comes out, you already know enough. But then you have to be the right person to educate him. To educate him. So the moment you educate him, he is not going to do it to other women or other person around him. Make that person feel miserable. Because those
Mm.
words can be killing, eh? It kills spirit. Because there was a guy I used to train with, and those time I was not talking about this issue yet. And
Right.
always the guy was making that kind of statement around sexual, whatever, weird way around the women. And one day I told him, I said him straight. And I said, hey, my friend, you rather shut up. Because this kind of words can make somebody killed herself or
Mm.
somebody can do something to herself with what comes from your mouth. And then I
Yeah.
just said things I have to say to him, and then he stopped. So one thing I do know, and some of the men, to the moment you tell them, they are going to use it against you.
Mm.
We have some men like that there. That's why you have to be strong enough. So whatever happens, you can handle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right, right, definitely. So, I would really like to know from you, Ruki, because sometimes it's hard for someone because you can anticipate on all of the what ifs, but sooner or later you'll get there. Either it be relationship of close friends, just like Esther said, the ones that make remarks,
Yeah.
sooner or later you would probably have to tell them, or maybe in a romantic relationship it's gonna arise during a conversation, or at least as you get closer to someone else, you're going to have to drop the news.
Yeah.
Could you give an idea of whoever is listening, what could be the right time and what could be the a healthy approach to share the story, and maybe even share the fact that you might have some sensitivity to some of people's antics or comments.
Mhm.
How does that work in a recommended way?
Yeah, for me personally, like when I say at the right time, um usually, you cannot say it when the person is not like, you guys have to be in a good mood or talking about something that brings the topic, or you can raise a topic that is going towards that point, and then you can
Yeah,
just say you need help, because your partner is supposed to support you in, when support you in any way. So you can say you have an issue and you need support, and there's no support. So if telling it out to them, you just need help from them. And what, sometimes you have to put it in a way that is like you are searching for advice, or not to say it like, oh, I've been through this and I don't like it, but you need to learn how to say it. And to me personally, I feel like you have to say it in the way that this is what you went through and you need help, so that you put the the job on the person, and they start thinking, oh, like it's like their responsibility to help you. You don't say it like, you are saying you are making a conversation. If I'm making a conversation with Esther, okay, I've told the story. Oh, this is what I've been through when I was this is what. But you have to me, I don't know, but I will put it in a way that I am searching for a help. And now you put that person in in a position where
hmm
they need to think about, what am I going to do, and
yeah,
I feel like that can help a little, for the person to actually involved in
yeah,
what you want. Yes, that's what I mean when I say the right time, or how to say it, is very,
hmm
very important. Because
right,
I can just be talking to my husband and say, hey, when I was 5 years old, this is what happened. It's a conversation. But if I
right,
say I need help because this is what I'm going through and it's just tough for me, I cannot say it out and it's doing this to me. So then you give that person the opportunity to support you and help you to go through this together, as a partner.
right,
If the person, like we both said, if they really truly love you, they will help you. They will find
right,
support for you. If they can help you, they will find
Yeah.
support for you. They will
yeah,
find support for you. Yeah.
Or you can even start a conversation if you don't know how. Sometimes you have to test your partner, the person you are going
Mhm.
out with. In the way, you have to find a way to test him or her.
yeah,
You will drop
Mhm.
a certain
Yeah.
topic in a way, and then after that, you just leave it and see how he's going to respond. What kind of response is going to come? If the response comes nicely, then you know that okay, there was a room. If the second one you will drop something and then you see, then you will know. The third time, then you know, okay, then there was a room to talk about it. But some
yeah,
people, the moment you made a statement, they will be ready like a punch in your face. Then you know that I have to pause. But at the same
yeah,
time, I will always will advise women, you have to be getting help for yourself first before you start any relationship or you get married to know anybody, because if you don't get help, it's going to affect the relationship. It's going to affect a lot of
right,
things in the relationship. So my advice, the first thing I will say, get help for yourself. Be strong for yourself. Be independent strongly in the physical, mentally, and everything first before you start a relationship. If it's not, the relationship won't go anywhere. After a year, 2 years, it's done. It will break down.
right,
If you are lucky, you will go far, but even then, you won't be happy because the kind of things maybe the man doesn't know you touch in a certain place and a certain things, and you won't feel comfortable. And then after that, you can't say it, and you are in pain, and you are going to hide somewhere and cry, or go and get water and put it somewhere and cool yourself. and then you will pretend lying down that you are enjoying something, but you are not enjoying anything.
No, you're not.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
you rather get help for yourself first to find your inner feelings for yourself
Yes.
Right.
before you enter any relationship.
Yes.
Mhm.
I think before is the best time. That's at least you get to know who the person is, right?
Right.
Yeah, so I think making sure they know before you even go further in the relationship is the best time to say it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise, when you are in it and you are in love and now you don't want to go and you don't want to say it to hurt that person's feeling, then it's difficult
Yeah.
for you at that moment. So, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate the
Oh,
time that you spend with us, Ruki. I know you have to go on, mom of three, being an athlete and doing so many things. Thank you for giving us the time to talk about
it's my
and have this
pleasure.
conversation.
It's my
Good.
pleasure. It's my pleasure.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
And have a blessed
Bye.
weekend.
Thank you,
Bye
Ruki.
bye.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
All right. Well, the conversation continues. And before we're even going to go on, I just want to give a shout out to a few people that have been listening, some of Dankwah supporters. First, to give a shout out to Maurice Hartman, who's saying, "Good evening, Esther and other people. Very good to listen to you spreading your personal and wise words. In general, open communication to each other is also very important, but especially with this subject." Thank you, Maurice. Thank you for showing all that love. Also to Joyce Alablas, who's saying, "Thanks, Esther. You're doing a great job." One of our special guests that we will have on here in a bit, once we come on after the music interlude, is very important conversation. In some cultures, unfortunately, it is seen as the woman's fault. She must have done something to invite the abuse, or was wearing the wrong clothes, or was out late. Oh, tell me about it. This also results in survivors being wary of reporting. And I couldn't even agree more. The culture aspect is something that we should also look at. One thing that Saba also noted was, or as children, they are not given enough education or awareness of identifying what is the wrong touch, which also leads to them not coming forward when they are abused. So much good things is what you're saying. Also, a shout out to Magdalene Ekria Boedu. The Ikria is written in a very push way. Really great topic when most cultures do not allow conversation about sexuality. Even the sexuality bit is one, but also the abuse part is one, and even the relationship bit to truly talk, about what people are going through is also another thing. Hans Golding is saying, "Keep on doing the good job, Esther." So much support here from people that just love this. Also, Audrey Dako, who's saying, "You know what? Thank you for your commerce. Really, really much so." Ending off with this particular topic, Esther, to summarize your advice on, when in the relationship, how to go about it. What is your advice to anybody that is not or is ready for it before we go on to the conversation with Saba?
I think the advice I will give is try to get help for yourself. The
Mm,
help for yourself is important. You have to be strong enough before you enter a relationship, because sometimes it happens and then some of them want to jump into a relationship or quickly because they want to get somebody around, but it doesn't help. At the end, you are going to hurt yourself and you are going to hurt your partner. So there is no need to go in if you are not strong enough. So my advice is get help for yourself, be strong first,
yeah,
be independent in that way first, and the same time, if you are strong, you can handle anything comes around. So you don't be like a cripple in a relationship. You can't talk, you can't do anything, you don't want to do. Sometimes there were some things happening and you don't want it, but because you want to keep your relationship, you force yourself to do. And then the trauma gets worse and worse. So just don't do it. Get help first. So then you can enjoy your relationship or your marriage. And the thing is, we have to start educating ourselves in the sexual things, and then the culture adding to the sexual things, and always people been looking like they are the dirty one because you went through sexual abuse. And I don't think those things is a good thing, and only us can stand up and start talking about this and share the love around to be open up on this kind of issue. If we don't start, we cannot stop this kind of issue in the society, in the communities, in the culture way. We can't stop it. I mean, we cannot tackle the whole world, but if we can just tackle a little bit portion to make a little bit impact, the other ones can make other impact on the other people, and then it keep on going. Because a lot of women and a lot of men are inside, they cannot even go out. They cannot even talk to nobody because they're judgmental. Because I've been through a lot of judgmental from my own community. Sometimes it's not nice, but because I got help and I'm strong enough, I don't really mind. Because I know some few women, they kill themselves because of that. And I'm not going nowhere. So I have to start this conversation so we can help other women not to kill themselves or not to do something bad to themselves. So get help.
Gotcha. Well, before we go on to also another important conversation, let's go into some music, and after the break, we will get Saba Azim on board. She's been engaging in the conversation a lot. I'm sure she can share with us so much to learn about this. But first, let's go on a small break, and then we will be back to talk some more about conversations with Esther on dealing a relationship after abuse. Let's go.
Oh na 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 na. We ain't even got a track on it. I got many blessings, I can brag on it. I've been through the fire, I can talk on it. And I heard that in the streets that they got love for me. Oh shit, oh Baba. Now Baba gonna make me turn my swag on. They badu me anytime when the song on. They see the light be shining when it wrong on. Now you see, say we there run the city. I don't think that any one of you could stop to titty. I just wanna sing the song, break it down, oh yeah, shake it to the ground, oh yeah, chop for me. I don't bear for a long, or a niece okay. I don't bear for a long, oh yeah, cool mole. I don't bear for a long. If I start to talk, the thing with my back, all the don't do it no going. My brother, you no going. If I start to count the blessing Baba God to give me when no going. My brother, you know going. You and me be on some good I know. Oh no, you me CCTV, baby, and anyone me so. Even if I walk through the valley of death, I know the fear, and every day be Jackado. You want me be on Tongana, no. Oh no, yeah, me CCTV, baby, and anyone me say. Even if I walk through the valley of death, I know the fear, and every day be Jackado. I don't be a son anymore. I don't be a demon. I don't be a demon. She and ninja cheetah. I don't be a son anymore. I don't be a and ninja cheetah. I don't Adumpina somimo. Adumpina dimetim. Adumpina dimechi. Etiminjane chida. Adumpina somimo. Adumbi. Etiminjane chida. Oh.
And thank you for waiting for us there. Just a short break. It's probably, the moment where you got some coffee or something like that, or maybe some tea. Shout out to Elijah who says, more vim, more vim. I'm sure you mean both the conversation and the music. And also shout out to Archrit Dako who says, thank you, Esther. Continue helping people like this. I will pray for you all the time. Well, we all could use a bit of that prayer. Also, I am Jeffrey Vanan, who is given an icon who's saying, I'm sure that means he's given all the support. Thank you for showing support at this time. This is a conversation with Esther Dankwah, how to deal with relationship after abuse. You can see that the conversation is so much necessary. Without further ado, let's welcome in our next guest. Esther, I'll leave it to you to just give a bit of an introduction where you know this fabulous lady from, and so that we could start the conversation.
Yeah. Um, it's so funny. This introduction will be difficult because
Why?
it's a true a friend, true a friend. That's why I know her. And
Right.
the good thing about I never even met her like this before. So I'm so happy that she accepted to join this conversation, and it means really well to me. And thank you very much. And I hope that we are going to have a good conversation and a nice thing that we can touch other people's life to change other people's life too, for them to
Yeah.
see that there was another light out there to look up to. So this one, I will just leave it for you to bring her in. So
Yes. Sure. Sure.
yeah.
Most certainly. Let's do that. Welcome, Saba Azim. How are you?
Hi, thank you very much for having me, and all of you are doing a wonderful job. Like I said, a very important conversation to have
Yeah.
because a lot of us who've been through this turmoil, early on in our lives, we were just too afraid to actually come out and talk about it. And now that we do
Yeah.
have the courage to do that, I'm hoping, like Esther said, we can help. If one or two people today, I think we've done a job.
Absolutely. You're very much right with that. And could you share with us why is this particular topic that Esther touched on so important in
I
this
think,
time?
yeah. Like a lot of survivors, I think I also bottled up when I went through abuse, I bottled it up, didn't share it with anybody. I knew what was happening was wrong, but just did not have the courage to go out and share it, even with my parents, when I was as young as
Right.
7, 8 years old. And that's the thing, culturally, we're always told that it's the woman's fault. Like, what fault could it
Yeah.
be of a 7 or an 8-year-old little girl? She can't provoke men, or she, as in, then that's
Oh,
that's the man's mentality, or even if the abuser is the woman, the abuser's mentality that there's something wrong with that.
yeah.
And unfortunately, it's all the time that then even other women blame the survivor that you were inviting the abuse. I bottled it up for so long, and when it finally came out years and years later, I was always told, don't tell the male members of your family because they won't react nicely. But then, we
Right.
always teach our daughters how to behave in a society, how to, okay, what's your day like? So you make sure you wear appropriate clothes or come back before dark. But we never teach our sons how to act in a society where women are protected. um, I think that's very important. And the reporting thing, when we don't even have courage to go to our families or to go to and report to the police, for instance, how can we, when we're grown up, how can we actually have a relationship on equal ground when we're doubting ourselves so much?
Yeah. Yeah. Very much so. Very much so. Um, and how do you even find the courage to, push through, get on with it, or find some type of understanding for this? What is your take on that?
I think, like Esther said, that first survivors have to work on their own selves. It is not
Right.
easy to go through it, but then after that, realizing that you've gone through it, getting the right help. Nobody, so, like he also mentioned, some people like to jump into a relationship thinking somebody will come and literally rescue you, because unfortunately that's what the movies have taught us. But we
Mm.
have to, in essence, rescue our own selves, become that strong person that we want to, and then jump into a relationship when we are ready. Self
Right.
acceptance is key. Self love is key. Until and unless you don't love yourself, nobody else will come and love you.
Very much said. Very well said. That's what they say, a tweetable statement that you made. Very much so.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so Esther, could you share with us, on top of your own experience from a relationship, what else is important for somebody that's gone through it to know, once he or she goes on to relationship? Is it just romantic relationship? Is it with friendships as well? What are some of these things that you really find important to share?
Um, the after you go through abuse and stuff like that, it's already you don't trust nobody. The first thing is your trust level is gone. So you have to start building yourself how you can trust other people, either one or two. But we are always walking with a heel on, like with a spice. You already, one step is in, one step is out. Any movement you are already want to move, get out. And sometimes a certain friends around you, even women, normal friends and normal male friends you have around, sometimes some of them can make you feel uncomfortable. So always you have to check the kind of people you've been around. If people they can contribute something positive in your life, get out, because you are not normal like other women or other men. You are not normal. Your sensitivity is so high, all the time you are like a tiger around. So any negativities around you, it puts you down. So you always have to get yourself out from negativities, men and women, normal friendship, just get yourself out. And if it comes to the sexual relationship, that's where the difficult and the challenging is, because the normal friendship around, you can always get rid of them. But imagine you've been through abuse and then you end up falling in love with somebody, and the person always making a certain comment around you. That's even dangerous than, it's like on top of what you've been through. And that time, if you are not strong enough, you can kill. If you are not strong
Right.
enough, you can destroy somebody's life. If you are not strong enough, you can even carry somebody and throw the person from upstairs to downstairs. So always, if you are, in my opinion, if you go through any, if after your abuse, get help. And if you don't get that help, you cannot love nobody. Doesn't matter whatever, people sometimes running away and they were like, yeah, I still love somebody. It's not true. I don't really
Right.
believe that, because what you've been through, sometimes we see like, okay, we can cross it like a gutter. You see a gutter there with the water in it and you are jumping over the other side. You cannot do that. You always have to prepare yourself and look where you are jumping to, if it's really safe there to jump yourself to. Because the relationship, the sexual relationship, you never know. The guy can be also being abusive already, or him have done it to somebody before. And
Mm.
then going through in there without being yourself strong enough, if something happened, you can run away, you are in trouble. And sometimes some women are not being sexual abused before, but in their marriage, they get sexually abused in their marriage.
Mm.
So you are from somebody you are so happy and a good and joy person and loving person go through in this kind of thing, and then you change. The moment you see that, my sister or my brother, get out and run as far you can run. So it's about all this conversation goes about you loving yourself. If you love yourself enough, get help for yourself enough, and get strong enough, you can go through any obstacle comes in your way. Because the abuse, if you are small and it happens to you, it can affect you giving birth. It can affect even you conceive. It can affect you being any sexual relationship with somebody. Even kissing somebody can trigger you in a way, because it could be that that kissing went into a different position. You already experienced that before. So imagine all this kind of science around you, and you are not putting those bricks together. It's like you are building a house. If you don't, the foundation have to be solid enough. That's how you have to be. You have to foundation yourself so good to the extent that the moment the bricks comes on top, you won't shake. Because I remember there was a time I thought I was okay. I thought, oh, I'm running, I'm competing, everything is good, Esther is there. And then one day after competition, I was going home, and then I saw a guy talking to I don't know if it's his girlfriend or somebody on the phone. And the kind of a certain word came from the guy's mouth. All of a sudden, I felt the kind of heat inside me bubbling. I nearly wanted to do something to the guy. He was not
Yeah,
talking to me. He was just having his own conversation somewhere. So that is
yeah,
the time too I realized that no, I'm not there yet. So then I still go ahead and continue on my help to get help extra to be where I am now. So the women or any man or any girl or any person you've been through that, don't brush it away,
yeah,
because you will never be happy in any relationship you put yourself into. Don't run away from what is in front of you. Just
yeah,
face it and climb it and feel good afterwards.
yeah. And Saba, could you tell us more about the cultural differences, the what is regarded as an open culture where people are free to share and to heal, and what is considered as a more, culture that finds it controversial? Could you share a bit more about that?
Yes, so then I come from Pakistan, a South Asian country, pretty conservative, and I've also worked in
Yeah,
countries fairly conservative and in active war zones, where unfortunately rape and sexual abuse against women is also used as a weapon, which is, yeah, quite unfortunate that you actually look at the pride or the honor of the family through the woman as if somebody else has touched her and that's just gone, which is ridiculous, but that's what the notion is. um, Unfortunately, in Pakistan, you also had these laws where if a man is raping a woman, you need to have at least two male witnesses to see the penetration happen, or four female witnesses. How is that even possible? Like, if they
Possible.
were witnesses, yeah, if they were witnesses, then first, why didn't they do anything to stop the rape from happening? And B, how can you actually make them come to court and then testify? So, you
yeah,
had these sort of patriarchal sort of laws, which also meant, and then if you don't have those witnesses, then the blame would come on the woman and she would be jailed. So, that stopped so many women from coming forward and actually sharing their
right.
experiences, which is absolutely terrible. Recently, like last year, or a little before the year, as in this was before the pandemic, a woman in Pakistan was raped at gunpoint while she was driving on a highway. Her car ran out of petrol. She had her two kids in the car with her, and when she opened the car to get some help, to get petrol, to get the car running again, she was raped at gunpoint in front of her children. And the chief of police actually said, instead of saying, what happened is wrong, there were cameras, we should have done something, because she did call the police and the police came an hour later. uh, she, the chief of police said, why was she all alone at night? This was 1 a.m. and why didn't she check her car? So why is the onus always on the woman? These are, this is what stops people from even coming forward. And I've lived and researched all over. For instance, in Bangladesh, you saw a whole wave of refugees coming from Myanmar, the Rohingya community. And the women there were raped, and 9 to 10 months after they'd arrived, they started giving birth. And of course, the children they were giving birth to looked slightly different from the general Rohingya population. Everybody knew that these women were raped, and it was by no fault of their own. They were being targeted because rape is being used as a weapon. Yet nobody is accepting these women. So where does that leave these young,
The,
12,
yeah,
14, 16-year-old women? So just things like that, it really sort of bothers me. I've also, these double standards some people have in these countries where, if you're talking to your male friends, they'll be very understanding, but when it comes to them marrying a woman who's been through that, no, I want a pure wife. So you mean somebody who's been sexually abused is not pure? I'm sorry, I don't
Yeah,
understand this logic.
I don't. That's really strange because I think it shouldn't. It's like the men can do things, bad things to women, and they can just go free, and then you, that woman, you went through that pain, have to suffer from it. I
Yes, they say
mean,
boys will be boys, but women, we have to look after ourselves and make sure the skirt isn't long enough, make sure you're covered
how?
properly. It's ridiculous.
that is
It's
really
just
painful to
these things have to, I don't know what the society can do, but things like that have to gradually to change, because we need a lot of women like you, like Tina being there, like me, and like Rookie and other women to come together, because if our
yeah,
voice comes together, it can go far. It's just we
yeah,
should have to find a way to put the fear aside and stand up for yourself, because at the end of the day, you won't get nobody to protect you or to do that. Only we can do that and protect ourselves and support each other and climb. But sometimes even some of the women to even look at you down.
Yes.
It's like
yeah,
sometimes I look at it, I say, come on, you're a woman, it can happen to you.
Yep.
Even if you look at this world these days, you can get like
yeah,
60 to 70% women, all of them being through this kind of sexual abuse in
I
a
have
different form of way, so
exactly.
it's a lot, you
I
know.
have women, female friends who are covered. Only their sort of eyes are showing, and the rest is all in abaya.
Yeah.
Even they've been abused. So tell me, what is the right dress that we should wear when we
yeah,
go out?
Yes.
And Esther, exactly as you said, even though we're from very different cultures, the experiences that join us together, I think,
Yeah.
speaks far more than anything else. And it's courage
Yes.
that we get from each other
Yeah.
to raise our voices, to make sure that the next generation doesn't go through that. And if
Go
they
through
do,
that.
they
Yeah.
have the right
Mhm.
mechanism to seek help and to get the abusers the justice that they deserve.
Yeah, they deserved.
yeah.
Yeah.
Very, very
It's
important.
really important, because sometimes the time I was in Ghana, I thought this kind of things were happening only in Ghana, and then we are hiding ourselves and stuff like that. But I was in Holland here. The moment I started this foundation about the sexual abuse started kicking on, and then I realized that even in Holland here, it is a lot, and it's a whole a lot in the backyard that sometimes and I go like, what is really going on in the world? And the sad part in me in Holland here too is the young ones, the way the young ones are going through this kind of abuse, and these boys are doing this to these young girls, think that it's a joke. After that, the next day they see the girl and they start laughing about the girls. They did that to them. So a lot of girls have been killing themselves. They are throwing themselves on the balcony and all that, those kind of things. So the thing is, if we, the grown-ups now, like us, if we don't stand up and start talking about this kind of issue to put awareness there, nobody is going to do that for us, because even the society, the government, the people they are up there, even they are not really look at how the corona came, how the corona is spread all over the world. And sexual abuse, even the worse than the corona. But that one, all these years, with my age now, I never see that it's really a big topic in the whole world that, hey, we are going to stand up and talk about it and let these
Yeah.
men and people, they are doing that, or women, they are doing that to other boys and girls and the young ones and the women to stop this kind of things. Even sometimes it happens and you are telling the police, they question you. Oh, do you think what you are saying is true? Are you sure you didn't look for it? I was like,
Hmm.
how can I go that, hey, this is my body, use my body the way you want it, and then leave me in trouble? So
Yeah.
only thing we have to do is, all the women, they are in the platform now, all the people, they are listening. Please, if you are going through this kind of abuse, or you are out there, wherever you are, please contact me. Let's do something together. Let's join forces together and share
Yeah.
our voice, and put our voice out there to help some of the young ones. They are lost now. They don't know what to do, to set free. That would be really good.
And sometimes
Yeah.
all you need is a listening ear. So, like you said, just give us a call. We're more than happy to be that listening ear for you.
Yeah.
Grab a cup of coffee together and talk through it. And yet, like you
Yeah.
said, educate the young generation, the girls and the boys. Even if the
Yes.
boys are going through abuse, a lot of them do. They're even more fearful than girls to come out because
Yeah,
that
than
hurts
the
their
girls even.
their notion of masculinity.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
talk to them
Yes.
about these notions that it doesn't make you masculine if you try and abuse
No.
a girl or try and abuse anybody who's weaker than you. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that makes you a jerk. And if
Yeah.
you are being abused, what is the right touch, what is the wrong touch? Come and tell your parents or your peers or an older sibling or an older, somebody you look up to. So just
Yes.
instill that mechanism in your children. I think that hopefully can lead to somewhere good.
Yeah. Absolutely. And it starts with definitely the dialogue, the talking about it. It's where
Yes.
it starts, obviously. Let's look at what some people are saying. Shout out to Archer Daco, who's saying thank you for the commerce. I think you mentioned the conversation. Also, Magdalene Ikriabwedu, who says strength also can be found in the fact that justice is served to victims in order make they know they are unfortunately victims. Is the foundation also working with the authorities to ensure justice? I think Esther, you can also share about what you've been doing, as before the COVID outbreak. You were already having workshops with the authorities, police, to highlight some of the cases,
Yes.
because that is something that you've been doing. And it also
Yeah.
shows how that element of culture, that example that you gave, Saba, it somehow also transcends to the multicultural groups here in Europe, where there is some sort of stigma to being a victim of this. That
Mm-hmm.
is number one. And then number two, then when cases arise to a culture which is relatively considered as a culture that is open to it, for them to understand, what people of other cultures go through. It's also something that's really really difficult. What would you say, Saba, could be some of the solutions to these differences, sometimes misunderstandings?
I think one thing that's resonated throughout this conversation is having that open communication.
Yeah.
Um, it's not. I don't think there's anything wrong with being ignorant, but once you know you're ignorant, go and try and find out the answers. You
Yes.
can
Hmm.
you can easily say, "I'm sorry, I don't know. Can you please educate me?" I think that goes
Right.
a long way, rather than sort of also because people who've been through sexual abuse or not every case fits in that box of what your notion of sexual abuse is. Um,
Hmm.
so go and try and look outside the box. Try and look for people who are willing to talk. People like Esther, people like me, people like you. We're all from different cultures, and we're here living in Europe.
Yeah.
We have experiences from our countries. I worked in 5 other countries as well as a humanitarian aid worker. Talk. You have resources available in house. Talk to them, and
Yeah.
understand what these nuances are, and how to also deal with people who are coming forward, and how to recognize the signs that this sort of abuse is happening, because a lot of the
Yeah.
times the survivors are also afraid to come and talk about it. And
Yeah.
just one sort of a point. Let's try throughout this conversation, especially in the comments, we're not victims, we're survivors. So let's also use positive words for each other now. I think that's a different feminist discourse that's going, but I think that's a very key point, that no,
Yeah.
we're not some meek person who's supposed to
No.
feel sad, and no, sorry, we're strong
Yeah.
women, and we have the strength and the courage, and each and every person has that. It's just a matter of bringing that forward.
Yeah.
I love that.
And the thing is, like, the surviving party, you are right. Like, sometimes if you start talking about it, people think that no, we are survivors. We survived from it, and we have achieved something after what happened. And that is the key point. You always find a way to get strong and be survived from the situation, so then you can achieve your goal. Because sometimes the pain can carry you to do things, but it doesn't last. I remember there was a time I was competing, I was running really good, and I thought I was putting all the pain there, but the truth is it just lasts for a short time, and then the whole body shut down. So people shouldn't look at me or you like we are still a victim. We are not. We are survivors. And then we are trying to use our experience and the strength and the power we have inside to make a little bit impact in the society, on the young ones, on the old ones, on the all the ones they are in a relationship, they don't know what to do, where to go, whatever to do. You can always look for us, and then we can get all the support you need. We can support you. And the culture aspect you are talking about in Ghana is the same thing too, especially if it's coming in your family. Then it's a little bit, it's not a little bit, it's a really big to talk about it. And even to bring the person to the police, even it's even worse. Then you have to know that your name is going to be cancelled from the family for the rest of your life. But
Yeah.
and the thing is, sometimes it's not even about the victim being arrested or to go to jail. At the end, you are not going to be happy yourself. Though the person is there in the prison, it gives you a little bit, but it's just only the small part of the recovering. It's like one and a half. It's not even one and a half. It's like one
Right.
good. So you have 99 to go.
Mhm.
So the question is, are you going to focus on that one, or you focus on you, how you can get 100% better to go forward in life?
Right.
Because I rather being strong and achieve things and rub in your face that, hey, you took it from me, but look at me now. I have my
Mhm.
own strength back. You rub it on
Yeah.
that person's face. So
Yeah.
we should look at it in the different way. In the culture part, we cannot change the culture, but doing the talking, it can go to somebody's head, and then they will know that, oh, okay, it was not right what we did. The moment one person have that in their mind that, hey, this one was bad what we did, it will transfer to another one. It will transfer to another one. So at the end of the day, you can use one stone to kill the whole bet, or put the whole village together for them to understand. You just have to leave a little bit seed there and let the seed spread. And that's what we are doing. We're trying to put a little bit seed there and let the wind blow the seed and spread it all over.
Right. Right. The last question before we round up is by Maurice Hartman, who's saying, during the COVID period, it is even more difficult for these girls and ladies to go and find trusted people to find and talk to or be open about it. Do you have any advice for them to find help online? also because of COVID, other people can recognize abuse of others more difficult. Any advice to recognize some signals that it happened to some girls or these ladies? Saba, what is your response to this?
I'm not sure in the Netherlands, but I do know that there are at least 3 or 4 hotlines that you can call for free, and they're completely anonymous, and you can get the help that you want, even if it's just reporting it or not even reporting it in a formal way or getting the help. And they can also connect you to psychologists who can then help you, deal with it in a much better way. In terms of recognizing the signs and the symptoms that something is happening around in your family or in your neighborhood, like Esther said, if it happens in a relationship, you can already see the person's behavior changing. They become a little more inward looking. They're not as confident anymore. A lot of girls who've been through that and they're not reporting, they also start harming their own selves. So look for the
Yeah,
unexplained sort of marks on their bodies, on their arms. It is a cry for help. Nobody likes hurting themselves. That's the only way they know how to show that they're hurting, because they're hurting on the inside. But unfortunately, people don't see that. They see the outer things that are manifesting. Look for that. Look for the fact that your neighbors or somebody very closely, all of a sudden they've gone in that in a very depressive stage, and that cycle where they keep on saying that everything is their fault, the fact that they keep on blaming everything on their own selves, and they just can't come
mm,
out of it. It's not only related to that the fact that they've been abused, because it can also be emotional abuse, but those are
right,
signs to look out for, and that's a very, very telling sign. So keep your eyes and ears open. If you see in terms of physical abuse, you'll also see that unexplained injuries, which seem very ridiculous when they come and explain it, but just use your intuition. Most of the time our sixth sense is actually right. So try and be gentle with them. Don't push, because sometimes pushing will also lead them to shutting down. So you have to
Yes.
be very persistent but very gentle as well. And
right.
also for people in relationships who've sort of shared their experiences with their partners, we don't want you to go and start beating up the person who did this to us, but we just want you to
No.
understand that this is a big part of who we are, and understand it, and also then educate, because a lot of times in our cultures you also have these jokes which sort of undermine women. So
Yeah,
that comes from a culture, and when you keep on hearing that sort of jokes, that also sort of in your subconscious, that kind of sits there until you actually
yeah,
realize and you start deconstructing them. So
Yeah.
start
yeah.
thinking, very little steps you can take to actually change your mentality and those around you. Start calling out your the older generation on these jokes that they're making, that I'm sorry, this is a bit hurtful, so please let's not discuss this further, things like that. So that those
Mm,
are little steps you can take. Like Esther also said in the beginning, we need to work in concentric circles. So let's start with our little sphere of influence, and then we can try and change the world.
right.
Yes. Yeah.
And what is your answer
And
to
then
this,
about
Esther, before we?
the children or the young ones, because of the lockdown, what is going on, some of them in the house and stuff. Sometimes you see a child or a girl, she's so fluent, like really happy, and then all of a sudden she always wants to lock herself in the room. From school she quickly run to the room, or if she's in the room she just locked herself inside, not doing anything. Come and eat, she doesn't want to come out, or a boy or whatever. You always have to look at those things. And the table, sometimes you sit down together in the table and they don't look on the food or the family. They're always looking outside. And something I will say, that the mothers and the fathers, if it's not coming from the family, if your child is inside a lot, trying to find a nice way, don't push it, like what you said, don't push it, but just bring one conversation in the nice way, put something things down and see if that thing will be changed or is still going to be there. So you use those kind of things to start a conversation. Or
Right.
you just, sometimes they don't even look at you anymore. They see mother and they run away. They see father or anything, call a man or anything they see, they run like they see, or they always started covering themselves
Mm-hmm.
and hide. Then you have to know something is not right. It could be it's not sexual abuse, but it could be it's mental abuse or physical abuse. All those signs have to be looking at. And parents, please, trying to start showing a little bit closeness with your child, because if you start doing that, you will change those children's life. Whatever happened, you will see it quick. And if sometimes children going through that too, they can make a certain statement and see how a mother or a father will react. The moment you react in the wrong way, they won't continue the conversation anymore. It's a sign want to tell you something. So don't be judgmental all the time. Trying to be open-minded and just listen to them. And in about if it comes to in a relationship or in marriage too, sometimes the women or the men don't want to be feel, you the partner have to see them like, oh, pity way, I feel pity, oh, sad, oh, can I put you in my chest? No, it's not that. Women are strong. A woman who she's really telling you something like that, it means she's really strong. She's done without crowing. Now she's there. Only thing is just a support for you to understand what happened, the part of her, just to understand. So then it will make the relationship more open, more easy way to enjoy each other. So men, don't run away. There is nothing to run, because the other woman you are going to, it could be she's been through the same thing. So trying to be supportive. And
Yeah.
if you're supportive, if it happens to your child, or I'm not saying any child have to go through that again in life, I wish with God that nothing like that will happen again, but it's still going on. So we can know how to deal with the situation around, and then we all can help each other. And the children, or any woman or any man who going through that, sometimes you are getting help already and you want to talk, you can always check on my website, the Facebook or my website. My number is there. I can still talk to you. You can always
Mm.
contact me, and then we can have a conversation. And now I have another sister who's going to support and join nowadays to make a
Yeah.
new programs and other programs coming on, and then we can work together, so we can share the support with you and see how we can help you to be strong again.
Yeah. All right. Saba, before we round up, what are your last words and how can people reach out and get in touch with you?
Well, you've seen me comment here on Facebook, so please reach out there. And you can reach out to me as well through Esther. We have a very lovely mutual friend who's put us through in touch with each other. So we'll always stay connected. And more than happy to talk about our own experiences, the experiences I've had. I've also worked in the Middle East, in Syria and Iraq and Afghanistan before coming to the Netherlands. So there, unfortunately, a lot of horror stories there as well. Um,
Yeah.
but anybody who just wants a shoulder to cry on or an ear to listen to, we're always there. And it's not only about sexual or physical abuse. Please also recognize emotional abuse and mental abuse.
Yeah.
Mm, right. Thank you so much, Saba, for joining us. I'm sure within the next one you'll be joining us as well. And as people can hear, she's working closely with Esther to ensure that people are assisted the right way. Thank you so much, and I'm sure that people can reach out, obviously through the number that is on the Dankwah Foundation website, and can find the right assistance that he or she very much needs.
Thank
Thank
you
you,
very
Sab,
much for
again,
having me.
and
Thank
have a
you.
good further of the weekend.
You
All
Yeah,
right,
too.
thank you very much. Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
Well, as we are here, we've had some good conversations with our two guests all the way from Canada. Now we have Saba. It's like your network of experts is growing stronger and stronger. There are loads of questions that are still coming in. Also from Magdalene Boadu, who also had some questions and also wanted to say to you, Esther, that she has learned a lot God bless you, and keep it up. So it's definitely worth talking about, and that people
yeah,
could also contact you. Mbiko Tangama is saying that you can reach out to www.veiligthuishagelanden.nl, and this is a Dutch website that has a lot of information and a hotline in the Netherlands. And thank you for sharing that, Biko. And also, Esther Dankwah's details, the Dankwah Foundation, because people tend to reach out to you as well, is where people can connect with you and find out, and maybe even in emergencies, see how best you can, assist them in what
yeah.
they go through. Well, we've reached the end of the time, just flies. Any last words for people that are listening, watching, and also, do share a bit on how people can support Dankwah Foundation and what's next? What's next for Dankwah Foundation?
Yeah. The next we have some few projects still planning to do. If the lockdown and the rules are still going, then it's going to be online again. And so it's going to be amazing because we're trying to have a conversation now and then with the different topics about abuses and physical, mental abuse and all that to put the awareness to help other people to be careful or to be in a way to have a different life for themselves to out from that kind of pain and sorrow and tears and sadness in their lives. And the Dankwah Foundation need the support financially because a lot of projects we do need money to put things together and then help some of the children I'm helping, because some of the children you need to bring them to places, to bring them in a different environment, to work together with them. And then in
Sure.
Ghana too, we have a few projects we need support from people. So anyone who's listening to me, if you want to contribute to help the foundation or this journey to go further, to be going reach out to a lot of people, you can support us with, if you go to my website, Esther Dankwah Foundation, if you go to the website, there was a lot of information there. You can donate every month. You can make it automatic every month, or you can make one-time donation. You can show what you want to support in Ghana or in Holland. You can put it down, and we'll make sure that the money will go and do the job you send the money to. And then we need all the support for people that want to bring their voice to the conversation, to make the conversation big. They are welcome to join too. Or any support anybody can support in things. The foundation is ready to receive it in a good faith. Yes.
All right. All
Yeah.
right. Well, I think that's clear. I also shared the screen to the website. Again, you can visit dankwahfoundation.org, and you can find more of the information regarding how you can support this initiative. And I'm sure that people should also keep an eye on your social media platforms. Through your website, they can sign up for your newsletter to stay informed how they could be a part, and also get in touch with you. I think that you are really open to offer solutions or
Yes.
guidance in some,
Yeah.
shape or form that could help people help others. I think
Yeah.
that's really the goal and the idea of what you really intend to do for in this time, definitely.
Yeah.
I would say. Any last shout outs before we round it up?
Thank you for each and every one who joined the program today and listening to the conversation. Thank you for you, Tina, for the job and the support you are giving the foundation. You've been doing a lot for the foundation. Thank you very much. God bless you. And whatever you are doing in life, I pray that God will let it come to pass. And I ask
Thank
the
you.
blessing and healthy and long life to your life. And I pray that
Amen.
whatever you are looking for in life, you will achieve it. And then
Amen.
thank you for Bruno and all the loved ones, my family in Ghana, family in Holland here, and my daughter, and all the people they've been supporting the foundation or Esther Dankwah to go forward and let this foundation reach out to all the people in the world. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's also a shout out to Mbiko, who is stressing everybody to, please, dear friends, donate so Esther can facilitate the next empowerment workshop. I think that's a good goal to drive
Yes.
to, is to help
Yeah.
Esther do the workshop for those that are victims of this abuse. I think that we should really look on to share that a lot on the social media platforms and the
Yeah.
email addresses that we have of your community so that we can help others. And even
Yeah.
if we can't directly help people, but help to the right people to
Yeah.
help others. All
Yes.
right. Well, I guess that it's time for some music. We cannot leave, some good music out so that we round up this evening, and of course, let it kick off to enjoy the rest of the Saturday. As of today, here on Holland side, it is snowing, or let's just say it sounds like it's snowing. Let's just wait and see, and we will see how this interesting is it lockdown curfew thing will bring us. But
Yeah.
let's enjoy some good music and have a good weekend.
Yes.